I've been gaming on my PC for a long time now, and I've always been using Xbox 360 or Xbox One controllers, and that's for one reason: ergonomics. In fact, I have so many of them that the joystick rubber started to disintegrate. But they're just the best in the game when it comes to ergonomics. Even if they're a bit pricey, I always tend to go with them. Until today. Enter the Machenike HG300. This might just be your next gamepad. Let's talk about it. Okay, before we go any further, I just want to thank Machenike for sending me this gamepad to review and of course share my thoughts with you. Links to online purchase will be linked down in the description. And full disclosure, these are affiliate links, so I get a small kickback at no extra cost to you, and really that helps the channel. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified with uploads weekly. And while you're down there, why don't you hit that like button as well? And lastly, I'll be giving away this controller if this video reaches 200 likes. Instructions for the giveaway will be linked in the description. Alright, so for 600 pesos, you get a wired gamepad with awesome ergonomics and built-in vibration. Is that worth your money? Let's find out. The unboxing feels a bit cheap, but it's okay. I mean, you get everything you need out of this box. And plus points, you get a sticker too. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. Let's talk about the design first. This gamepad has a lot of similarities with the Xbox One controller. In fact, some might say that the Machenike Gamepad is even trying to copy the Xbox One controller. But is that really a bad thing? I mean, if something really works well, why change it, right? The ergonomics on this is the same as the Xbox One for a fraction of the cost. It has the same button layout as the Xbox One controller with a few additional buttons. And again, that's a good thing because I don't have to adjust anymore once I move to this controller. Even the textured joysticks on this is almost the same as the Xbox One. And the XABY buttons on this gamepad is actually illuminated, which some of you will like. Me personally, not so much. And the differences start when you start pressing the buttons. This gamepad requires more actuation force when pressing the buttons, and this is evident in the bumper buttons and the joystick buttons. But even with those differences, it only took me a couple of hours of playing to get the feel of the gamepad, and it's like it's not even there. And this gamepad is a lot lighter too, and that's mainly because this one does not require batteries on them. So of course, not having batteries would mean it's a lot lighter. It takes a bit of getting used to, but it's not a deal breaker. And of course, being a fraction of the price of the Xbox One controller, I can't really complain. This gamepad works with PC, Android, Nintendo Switch, and PS4. Unfortunately, I don't have Nintendo Switch and PS4, so we're just gonna be sticking today with the PC and Android devices. For PC with Windows 10 and Windows 11, this is really just plug and play. No more configuring of software, no more installation of third-party software, and no more mapping of buttons. I remember those days when I had the Logitech Rumble Pad where you had to download an additional software, and before you use it, you have to map everything in custom, which to me is really a pain. Fortunately, we don't have to do it with this one. This one also has a player indicator, so if you have more than one of these in your PC, it'll tell you if you're player 1 or player 2. And not to mention, the home button works flawlessly too. If you press and hold the home button, what actually happens, if you have Steam in big picture mode, it pulls up Steam and you can play it as if you were using an Xbox One controller. And this one works flawlessly with an Android TV. Same deal here, plug and play. Just plug it in and the Android TV automatically detects it and off you go. I did notice a bit of latency though when using it for my Android TV. I'm not sure if that's only because my Android TV is a bit old. There was a 0.5 second lag when I'm pressing the buttons, so I wouldn't recommend this for competitive gaming. But again, who plays competitive gaming on their Android TV, right? So how's the experience when it comes to gaming? To be honest, it's good. I've been using it for a couple of weeks and I can't really notice any observable difference from the Xbox One controller. After using it for a couple of days, you don't really notice much of a difference. I actually used it with one of my favorite games, Monster Hunter, and I was able to do all the combos and all the, quick moves with no noticeable difference. While it feels a bit lighter and the buttons sometimes are harder to press, after a couple of hours of gaming, you don't really notice it anymore. Even the vibration is so similar with the Xbox One controller. Of course, you don't get the wireless capability, but to be honest, I don't really use it that much. I mean, I used to use it before when I first bought my Xbox One controller. I even had like so many rechargeable batteries, and I had, the rechargeable dongle for batteries. But the problem is when you start gaming and sometimes you get in an intense situation and then all of a sudden you ran out of batteries, you don't want to be in that situation where you're scrambling to get new batteries just to put in your controller. And when you're playing competitive games like, I guess, Monster Hunter, you don't want to be in that situation. That's why even with my Xbox One controller, I always use the USB cable so that I don't have to think about batteries going down and all of that. And not to mention, if you don't have rechargeable batteries, you can just imagine how many batteries you'll go through each month just to be able to use your wireless controller. Overall, this gamepad is really good for the price. The HG300 from Machenike is a really good budget option. It performs just as well as the Xbox One controller for a fifth of the price. If that's not good, I don't know what is. So if you're on a tight budget and you want to get into gamepad gaming, I suggest you get this one. You will not regret it. And that's the end of the video. I hope I gave you a good idea if this gamepad is for you. If you want to know more about keyboards and mouse, you can click these videos right here. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.